Policing nowadays is very tough, but do you really know what challenges police officers are facing behind the badge? In this video, you're going to be hearing from various officers located throughout the country, and they're going to provide some real talk about the challenges facing the profession, but also that officers can face as human beings. Some of what they reveal might surprise you. Let's start with Patrol Sergeant Eric Levine.
Challenges in law enforcement. I've seen a ton of them. My name's Eric Levine. I'm a Midnight Patrol Sergeant Supervisor. I run the podcast 2 Cops, 1 Donut, and I've been in law enforcement 18 years. For cops, there's 2 major challenges that I've seen and seems to be prominent the last few years. One, and probably the easiest fix, is a lack of ability in control tactics. Doing yourself and this career field a disservice if you're not in a regular regimen of training and grappling. 100% of arrests that are non-compliant are going to go to the ground. In this career field, you're going to get into a fight. You owe it to yourself, your coworkers, and the citizens to be prepared and not have to go to your Batman belt. Those options should be a last resort. When you know how to use maximum amount of force, you tend to use the least amount of force. Having confidence behind that training will cause less hesitation. Less hesitation keeps you safer. I'm of the opinion that grappling will single-handedly lower use of force incidents across the nation. So I implore you, take it seriously, keep training, and stay continuous throughout your career while you're in a position in law enforcement that is in the streets and has to deal with suspects. If you're an admin guy in the ivory tower, don't worry about it. And the second thing is emotional intelligence because of your ego. Start learning emotional intelligence, understand why you think the way you think and what things trigger you. Yes, it sounds hippy-dippy, but there's a lot of science behind it. Because at the end of the day, the thing that gets officers in trouble the most is their ego. And believe me, watch any law enforcement video you can find where an officer puts his foot in his mouth. It's usually ego that starts that off. We have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. These are the 2 major challenges that I see with law enforcement today that I think would significantly improve us. Thank you, Scott, for the opportunity. Everybody go check out 2 Cops, 1 Donut. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that thing to help improve law enforcement with the community. And definitely make sure that you guys are following the 10 code mindset through Scott.
Cops now need to take ownership. We came out of a really rough number of years. A lot of people left, but a lot of people are still coming in. And a lot of people are here, most importantly, to keep doing the job that they intended to do for the reasons they intended to do it. We need to get beyond thinking about all the things that hinder us, all the things that we need and the reasons why we can't. And we need to start thinking about all the reasons why we can and focusing on what we can control, what we can do. We take ownership of our mindset. We take ownership of our fitness. We take ownership of our training and our level of proficiency in the job and operations. And we take ownership in how we treat each other. We take ownership of treating each other right, with respect, with care, with support. That's peer support. That's our bosses, our subordinates, our peers, and also those that we are trying to help, the actual victims out there. It's not about us. It was never about us. It's about the people that are calling 911, the people that are having terrible things happen to them, and what we can do to affect the situation in a positive way, the best way we can with what we have.
Hey, what's up, Scott? Thanks for having me on. This is Justin from Donut Shop Podcast. What I wanted to talk about was police ego. Ego is something that officers need because it can help them project their command presence, their appearance, and their demeanor when dealing with citizens or people in the community, especially during highly charged situations. But one of the things that officers tend to let happen is their ego run a little too far. The way that that kind of demonstrates itself, or that I see it a lot, especially in social media viral videos, are the ones that are dealing with First Amendment auditors. So people that show up to public places or out in front of police stations or city hall and stuff, and they try to get a rise out of elected officials, people that work for local government, and especially police officers who are usually there to, kick them out of the area or some sort of action. These people like to push buttons. They're pretty well versed in their constitutional law, but they don't always understand local laws or the Constitution fully. But when police egos get to go rampant and cause problems is when they start to get, insulted or just don't feel like that person is respecting them or respecting the uniform or what they're there to do. What we need to remember is people don't have to respect us. We just need to have an understanding of our federal, state, local laws and how we can apply them. Not let our ego get in the way when it comes to insults and getting our feelings hurt. When our ego goes a little too far is when you see these videos go viral and officers make a mistake or push the boundaries of enforcing the laws. So just a reminder, stay humble, keep your egos in check, and then just remember what your laws are and how to use them. So good luck. Take it easy.
Hey guys, Erin Carrizales here, Texas law enforcement officer, owner, creator, and presenter of the Fight After the Fight series. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the challenge of achieving a healthy work-life balance while navigating a career as a law enforcement officer. Now, achieving healthy work-life balance is challenging in any career. But when you're talking about a profession as demanding as a law enforcement profession, you're going to have to get extra clever with how you achieve it. So come with me and I'm going to give you a couple nuggets. First one, don't get lost in the sauce. You know what that means? What it means is this is what we do. This is a profession, a career that most of us feel a calling to do. And that's great. And I love it. There's nothing I'd rather do. But it is what I do. It is not who I am. And you're going to have to remember that. So don't lose your identity in being a cop all the time. Make sure you remember the other more amazing roles that you take on in your life. The roles like mom, maybe dad, husband, wife, significant other. There are other layers to you. Keep that in mind and be intentional when you feed those layers, when you pour into yourself. Make sure you have some hobbies and make sure that you have friends and relationships outside of the career field that can fill your cup. 2, plan. In the same way that you plan for how you're going to react and what type of backup you may have to be for your partners at work, you're going to want to do that for the most important backup you could ever have. That's the backup at home. So plan that out and stick to the plan. If it's 1 time a week, 2 times a week, maybe once or twice a month for an outing with your family, do it. Prioritize it. We prioritize calls all day long at work. Let's prioritize the quality time at home. The more you start to become intentional with how you pour into yourself and how you pour into your families, and the more you start to become intentional with turning that work brain off and allowing yourself to enter into a phase of rest and digest, you will start to feel a lot more leveled out. Be gracious to yourself. Give yourself some patience. And just remember, we're all in this together. I'm right there with you. I don't have the magic sauce yet, but I definitely know that I'm much better off than I used to be. I see you and I stand with you. You go, I go.
I remember during one of my shifts, I asked one of my coworkers, man, how you doing? And he said, brother, I trust you with my life, but I don't trust you with my life. Meaning if anything was to happen during the shift, I know you have my back. But if I tell you what's going on up here, well, that's a different story. Why is there an unwillingness to disclose the internal struggles of those who serve in law enforcement? I have found that there are 3 reasons why. Again, this is my own personal experience. One of those reasons is because the fear of being removed from your current assignment or possibly being demoted. Then also number 2 is how you are viewed by others, whether it be your peers, your counterparts, or whether it be your family or your friends. And then also, thirdly, I have seen that, well, it's always easier to say I don't have a problem than to say I do have a problem. How can a peace officer be a peace officer if he or she cannot find peace? How do we fix this problem? I think the first step is just reflection. To some people that may be meditating, some people it may be faith. But I think the second thing that you can that we can do to combat this issue is our department in and of itself. For an example, my department that I'm currently with, what we do here is that it is mandated that every year, every sworn officer has to go through a mental health checkup. And this is done by a third party. It's also not disclose to your agency, obviously, unless there's something that's major there, but you have the freedom to talk to this person from a third party. That's number 1. Also, number 2, the importance of fitness. How a strong body equals a strong mind. Me personally, I love running. I love working out. I actually have a running channel that I do with the public here called Miles with Deputy Falk. I get out and I'll choose somebody from the public and I'll go run and work out with them. I want you to take this message. If you don't take anything else from what I said, if you smiled before law enforcement, you can smile during law enforcement, and you can smile after law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you to every single one of these officers for giving their input about challenges facing the profession and challenges facing law enforcement officers as people. Obviously, there are more challenges. If you want to learn about them, then click the links below for more videos about this stuff. However, look, law enforcement can still be a very rewarding career. You heard every single one of them present solutions to the challenges. Of course, there's going to be challenges, but there's a lot of great things about working in law enforcement as well. And to those currently on the job, stay vigilant, be well, do great for others. And to anyone watching this video, click right here to watch your next video. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.